Boop. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, today I am going to do some more common shorty carries. The first one I'm going to start with is actually a rucksack tied under bum. It is probably the most common carry for a size 2. So what we're going to do is I'm going to find the middle of my wrap. This is a short 2, so it's very important on the length of this, and I'm going to show you a couple tricks I keep to keep the wrap from moving on it when I get him on my back. So I'm going to go ahead and put this middle marker on his back, and I'm going to start arms in, and if you'll notice I put this on his back, and then I'm going to hold it on his butt so that it doesn't move. I'm going to go ahead and bring this other side up and over my shoulder. And then I'm going to tuck it up under his butt so that when I scoot him around to my back, the wrap doesn't shift with him. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, and if you'll notice I have my hand on his butt and my other hand on his arm, and he's sleepy because it's nap time. And I'm going to lean him into me so that all his weight is up against my body. And I'm going to take this hand, put it around him, take this hand, grab his foot, and then scoot him up on my back. This is a higher back carry, so I want to go ahead and get him up as high as possible, hopefully without headbutting me as much as. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this top rail, get it nice and snug, and put it under my chin, Hayden, on both sides. And then this bottom one, I'm going to go ahead and pull all the slack out of it. I'm going to put my hands at his knees from underneath and pull the wrap up. And pull the wrap up under his butt while I stand up a little bit so that he goes into that pocket I created. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put this under my chin and get all the slack out of this side. Now this bottom rail, you want to get it snug, but you don't want to pull on it too much. All right, we'll pop your seat. So I'm going to change sides, do the same thing. And then at this point, I'm going to take these passes. I'm going to go ahead and go under my arm, back around to his butt. And then usually this is the part that everybody has a problem with, is trying to tie a knot under a baby's butt. So what I'm going to do, you'll notice I'm going to take this rail, I'm going to hold it in this hand, and then this rail, I'm going to take it up behind my hand on the other side of this pass, and then tuck it under. Tuck it under like a single knot. And all the time I've been holding this rail, and nothing's changed with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and tighten as much as I can. And then at this point, I like to take the sides. I'm going to take the fabric, and I'm going to use my elbow as leverage up against it, or my arm, and just on one side, the other side I'm just pulling. And then as using that leverage, I'm going to go ahead and pull it while I bounce a little bit. And then use my leverage with my elbow again, pull it. And that actually creates a nice and tight on these straps. And then at this point, I just like to go ahead and give it another knot. This one doesn't have to be as tight. It's just a security for the other one. If you'll notice, this wrap is just long enough to do this carry. It is at about 2.6 meters. My baby is 24, 25 pounds. He's about 15 months old. But this is a rucksack tied under bum with a short 2. Boop. What's your name? Can you take the cookie out of your mouth? Yeah. What's your name? I'm named Boo Boo. Your name Boo Boo. How old are you? 2. Very close. He's 2.5, and he weighs about the same as Alton, but he's taller, so keep that in mind. Come here. No. Boop. We're going to try this again. with the more willing wrapping. Okay, so I'm going to actually do now a rucksack tied shoulder with a knotless finish. It's an easier variation of doing it tied under bum because, let's face it, tying a knot behind your back under your baby, not the easiest thing in the world. So this is my other size 2. It's actually a long 2. It's about 2.8, 2.9 meters. And I'm going to set Mr. Alton down for a second. Hopefully he won't be upset. I like to measure from the short rail. I'm going to measure about I'm going to measure about from my arm length to the other side of my chest. And that's going to be the point that I put on the baby's back, who is playing with the wrap. Oh, I know, Dad, take your toy away. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing to prevent it from moving too much. I'm going to go ahead and put this part on his back. And holding it over him. Put it up over my shoulder. And I'm going to put his arms in. And I'm going to tuck it up under his booty. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and scoot him around to my back the same way. Just taking my arm, putting it around him, scooting him back. We're not happy about that. I know. I'm going to take the top rail, put it under my chin, get it nice and snug. Then I'm going to take the bottom rail, pull it down, put my hands under his knees, and pull it up under his butt as I stand up so that he falls down into that pocket. Now, because it's off-centered, this is long enough to go ahead and stick between my knees while I tighten this one up. And again, with this bottom rail, you don't want to tug on it too much. You just want to get all the slack out. And I put that under my chin while I do this side. And then at this point, you still have the basics of the rucksack that we did before, but basically we're just going to finish it off a different way. So I'm going to take this side, put it under my chin, and this side is the side I'm going to work with. I'm going to go under my arm. I'm going to bring it around him, over his leg, pinning the wrap, under his butt, over his leg on the other side, pinning the wrap, and then I'm going to go ahead and stand up. And then at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the one that's under my arm, put it over the one that's coming up over my shoulder, and twist them so that this one comes up and over this way, and this one goes down. Then I'm going to take this side and put it over this strap and through. And then go ahead and get that nice and tight by pulling on these tails. And then on these, I like to, this is a sturdier wrap, is what we'll call it. So I like to spread these out over my shoulders so there's less pressure points. And if you ever watch my videos, I never really explain this, but it is something I always do. I like to take his legs and go like this. What this does, he likes to kick while I'm wearing him, and when I do this, basically what I'm making sure of is that the strap going over his leg is going behind his knee. I've seen some carries, and I've done it several times myself on accident, where this strap is actually going like over his leg, pinning it up against my body. He hates that. He likes to be able to move his legs. And plus it's really uncomfortable because it like jabs their leg into your side. So not exactly about shorties, but always good information. But so I do this, I go ahead and do it on both sides just so I know, because I'm not usually looking in a mirror or looking in a computer myself, so I know that he can move his legs and that the wrap is behind his knees. So at this point, this is how we finish it. So this is a rucksack that would be tied at shoulder. You can just go ahead and tie it over here if you have a shorter wrap, but with a knotless finish in a long 2.